Hi everyone. Well, I thought I'd bring today's video from out and about. Rather than being sat in the house doing the videos, I thought today, let's do a video from down by the old bridge here in Carrbridge, where we've still got plenty of snow around. You can see there's still ice in the river. There's still snow around the village. It's a cold day today. Temperatures hovering around freezing. It was a cold night last night. We saw temperatures in Altnahara, in Sutherland, down to -10. It was -10 in Kinbrace, and quite a few places further north, so temperatures down to -8, -9. So the cold air is still with us. It's not as cold as it was, of course, with -18 degrees over the weekend. It's not just as cold as it was, but it's still cold. And it's going to stay cold for the next 24 hours or so before we start to see milder air come in. But for now, anyway, today, it's a cold day. The best of the sunshine will be further north and west across the Highlands and down the western side and across the Isles. More in the way of cloud further east. And we've got some showers peppering the coastline of Moray, Aberdeenshire, the north and the northeast, and some across Lewis as well. But for many places, it's not a bad day, really. There's some sunshine around, certainly further north and west. It's not bad at all, but quite grey at the moment here, as you can see. Quite grey skies, but there was some fog around earlier. That started to lift, and the sky is starting to break up. And what we're going to see through today is probably increased amount of sunshine for those stuck under the cloud, and that's going to lead into a very cold night tonight. We'll see temperatures overnight widely down to -10 inland across the Highlands and Aberdeenshire. Many places seeing quite a hard to severe frost. The last cold night we're going to see for some time, though. We're going to start to see a change come in from tomorrow. But tomorrow itself's not looking too bad. It'll be a fairly bright day for many places, but increasingly windy, especially across the west. So you can see we've still got ice in the river here, look. Some of the ice has melted from what it was like at the weekend. But as I say, tomorrow for many, it's a decent day. It's bright. It's increasingly windy. I think we'll see the south to southeasterly wind reach gale force tomorrow across western coast and Isles before the day is out. And it's certainly going to feel cold in that wind. But like I say, dry for many. There will be some showery bursts of rain, sleet and hill snow moving north along western coast and Isles through the course of the day. But it's not until tomorrow night and overnight into Thursday we see the main change, as we see heavy rain, sleet, freezing rain, snow over high ground move eastwards overnight tomorrow into Thursday, and then another batch of quite heavy rain move north through the course of the day on Thursday. And that changes things into something a little bit milder coming in from the west. But we're not turning very mild, we're turning milder. And certainly the milder conditions will be further towards the south and the southwest coast, Dumfries and Galloway, Ayrshire, southern parts of Kintyre, Arran, Islay, Barra, Jura, Colonsay, seeing something a bit milder. We could see double figures here, maybe tomorrow night into Thursday and over the next few days. But for many places, it stays rather cold. We've got a succession of weather fronts moving northwards, bringing bands of rain and hill snow, but we never really get the milder air right in across us. It stays quite cold. Certainly further inland from the central belt northwards, temperatures by day, again, struggling, 3, 4, 5 degrees, a bit milder around the coasts. And then over the weekend as well, it stays quite unsettled. There'll be bands of rain moving north at times, interspersed with drier spells. So Saturday itself starts dry, then a band of rain moves north. That clears away overnight, perhaps a localised frost overnight into early Sunday. But then as we go into Sunday itself, another band of rain moves northwards through the day, eventually reaching the far north very late in the day. And again, it's turned a bit milder behind it. But generally, it's this attempt from the Atlantic to bring these milder conditions in. But the cold air is staying pretty much entrenched across the country, especially further inland and further north. The mild air never really gets in. But like I say, it's further south you are, and around the coast, it just turned that bit milder as we go through the end of the week into the weekend. And next week, really, it's looking quite unsettled. There'll be various bands of showers, perhaps some longer spells of rain moving through across the country. But I say, on the whole, it's fairly unsettled, really, as we go through the weekend and into the early part of next week as well. Okay, folks. Well, that's the update for today. As we look at the rest of the week and the weekend, live from the old bridge in Carrbridge, where we've still got a bit of ice, as I say, quite a bit of snow still around Carrbridge. Let's continue the filming as I walk back up the steps. You can see we've still got a reasonable amount of snow here. Not really been much of a thaw over the past few days. It's still hanging around. A good few centimeters of snow. See, there's the old bridge. I'll just film a little bit from the road. I'll just cross the road and look across at the other side, because on the other side of the main road there's more ice at the weekend. Yeah, there still is. You can see there's still some ice in the river, but for most of it tends to have has tended to thaw now. There you go. There's the bridge from the new bridge. You can see there. Look, there's a bit of ice still kicking around at the sides. Most of the ice is melted, but as I say, we've still got quite a bit of snow around. I'll just take a bit of a walk just to show you what we've still got lurking around snow-wise. Just on the Riverside Path now in Carrbridge. So here we are. Still 0 degrees here, still quite cold, quite icy. You can see there was a bit of a thaw overnight, but that's now frozen again. There's quite icy conditions, and that's going to be the problem tonight, I think. Icy conditions. There's the view of the bridge from a different angle. There were some icicles hanging off the bridge, but they seem to have dropped off now with the milder conditions. There we go. You see, it was me nearly on my backside. You can see, look, very, very icy. Slight thaw and then a freeze. That's all it takes. And I think tonight as well will be quite icy. Right, we'll just take a bit of a wander along here, along the Riverside Path. You can see lots of ice. Very, very slippery conditions. I've got some good grips on my boots, but still very, very slippery where we had a bit of a thaw over recent days. But you can see there's still quite a bit of snow around. It's certainly still winter here. There's been a slight thaw, but we haven't lost much of the depth of snow that we had. There was never a real amount of snow, never the same amount of depth as what happened down in the Lake District at the weekend, but nonetheless, we've kept the snow for quite a while. You can see, here we go, this has been untouched. I'll just see roughly how deep the snow is. So yeah, there's still a good sort of 6 or 7 centimeters of snow where it's not been walked on. And there was some decent freeze up in the river here, but you can see quite a bit of that seems to have melted now. And there were some ice pancakes, which is what forms in very sort of slow moving rivers. Further up the River Dulney in here, there was some decent ice pancakes over the weekend. Just looks like a pancake, and it's where a bit of ice forms and just keeps going around in circles in like a pool the side of the river. I'm not sure if they're still there, but we'll take a look maybe later on. But you can see there are still some ice flows in the river, but much of that does seem to be melting now. But it's always good if everybody can comment and like the videos, especially on YouTube, because that does help get the audience up. Well, we're looking ahead at some of the longer range computer models for the next week, and really next week there's no sign of a return to the really cold conditions we've been seeing. Things do fluctuate between cold and warm, and there'll certainly be some frost, I think, next week at times as we go through the week. But we're not looking at the severe frost that we've seen over the past few days. You know, with minus 18 last weekend, with minus 10 last night. We'll certainly see minus 10 or below tonight for some areas. But we're not looking at them kind of figures next week. It's going to be quite cold at times. There'll be some wintry showers over the hills, but there's no widespread cold next week. There'll be some rain or showers at times, but quite a non-eventful week. There's no major storms expected, no big flooding rains expected. Just conditions really flipping between average and cold with some frost overnight. Yeah, we've still got areas of the river frozen here, look, as you can see. Yeah, but certainly tonight is looking like being the last coldest night we'll see for a while anyway. We'll certainly see below -10. Like I say, Alnahara was -10 last night, and we've started to see the skies clear here. It was quite cloudy last night, which stopped the temperature falling around here, but with the snow cover and a clear, calm night ahead, I think we'll definitely see some spots below -10 again. See, the snow just helps the cooling. It's sort of any sort of warmth that has generated through the day, obviously it's not very much, is just reflected back into space by the snow. So you always get the nights colder when you've got a snow cover, and especially if you've got a reasonably deep snow cover. It's not that deep here, but if you've got a good cover, and then you get a clear, calm night, the temperatures just plummet. And I think as we start to see more of a clearance occur here in the Cairngorms and many inland areas, it will be a cold night ahead. I can see in the distance there, that's looking towards the west. Much clearer skies out to the west, and those clear skies are edging in this way. So I do think it will turn quite a bit colder tonight. Right, we've almost got to what's known locally as the Carrbridge, which is a swing bridge built over the River Dulnane here in Carrbridge. We're almost there now. Still plenty of snow around, look. Quite slippery conditions underfoot, but it's really cold. My hands are freezing cold. Might only be 0 degrees, but you certainly feel it on the extremities when they're exposed out to the cold for any length of time. I'm hoping we might be able to see some ice pancakes in the river, which formed over the weekend. There's certainly a few ice flows I can see. Just looking at the Dulnane from here, there are a few chunks of ice floating down the river that's built up further upstream. I'm just about at the Carrbridge now. I'll just have a look and see what we can see. Yeah, it seems that the ice pancakes have gone. There's still some ice in the river, still some ice flows. I can't see any ice pancakes, unfortunately. I was hoping I might be able to have shown you some, but it looks like they've either melted or they've floated off downstream, unfortunately. There we go. That's the Carrbridge. You can see over the Dulnane there's a few bits of ice floating around, but nothing much. Right, okay, folks. Well, I think I've probably about shown you enough of the snow and the winter wonderland here in Carrbridge.